Hey, my shiny sparkles. This is Lady Irony, and I welcome you to our Divine New Moon translation of October 2025, which lies in the energies of our air sign of autumn, Libra. After we previously celebrated our second harvest full moon with appreciation and gratitude, the appearance of Libra makes full sense because it's now also all about the relationship to thyself and the outer world. In the last harvest full moon, Spirit invited us to set clear intentions, and so Spirit is now reminding us to do so in personal and professional areas of life right before winter fully arrives. Because with Libra, there's not only the scale of justice coming along. With Libra comes Venus, and with Venus there is of course Aphrodite, the goddess of love, beauty and desire. Meaning that Spirit is reminding us of our opportunities and encourages us to find balance within thyself and others, to reshape your relationships, to set healthy boundaries, to connect to your center, to not making decisions based on emotions, but on the foundation of your inborn given intellect and communication skills. We are called to view our inner and broader outer world and ask ourselves the ultimate questions: am I really authentic? Do I give and receive out of an empty cup? Is it perhaps the reason why I experience personal disputes and social issues lately? Viewing the broader world, aka our environment, acts like a mirror to hopefully find the answers to those questions. But in this scenario, it is not only mirroring, but also illuminating hidden areas. Also areas that were perhaps just left behind with a lack of justice. Therefore, leaves you maybe behind with sensations of dissatisfaction and disharmony, which can feel really uncomfortable. While looking at the physical shape of a scale only, we see just physical matter, shaped by humans into something useful, right? So when humanity can create such a useful thing, and more of course, why not shaping and creating greater, meaningful things like love and beauty, right? We can do that. We are all able to do that. The thing, aka the real matter, is that we are conditioned to be and to stay busy with an unnecessary bunch of ridiculous earthly things which do not matter. And when we stay busy with those unnecessary things, we are going to get lost in this human-created nasty mud of this world called Earth. And this is what Spirit does not want. Spirit wants us to be safe and sound, to be authentic, to act from a foundation of empathy, intellect, and love. So Spirit is telling us that now is the perfect time, especially before winter and before humans are spending more time in their homes and before holidays, etc., to now release old patterns and energy, and so to break free from karmic loops, to solve applied and still applying conflicts by consciously acting with empathy and fairness, to come into action and restore justice for the broader world and yourself too, of course. By doing so, aka by listening mindfully, having honest communications and aligning your inner broader world with the outer brother world, you will automatically cultivate a more peaceful and balanced existence. And furthermore, with that, it will be way easier to connect to your higher self, which then helps you to seek knowledge as well as wisdom about your divine spiritual growth. Yes, by building health dynamics in peace and with justice, you are going to create opportunities for humanity, for personal growth for everyone and yourself, by reconnecting to your own needs too. Well, then you will hopefully recognize a ripple effect in you and the world around. So you finally will joyfully experience sensations of satisfaction, balance, peace, harmony, beauty, and love. Generally, I don't do that, but this Libra energy fits kind of perfectly to the energy of my previous astrological Libra translation of September 2025. I remember very well that we have, for example, talked about Libra's general energy as well as attributes and about how a Libra acts and reacts when there is a lack of connection, especially to thyself, and also about how important, or to be more specific, how existential love and balance is for a Libra soul. So I just can say, if you are interested and want to seek more knowledge about the general Libra energy, you're very welcome to visit my mentioned Astro Libra translation. Because in case of mirroring, for example, the information there can maybe help you to recognize and understand your spiritual path a bit more easier, maybe. Okay, let's continue. We need to keep in mind that, in fact, even a simple scale needs to be calibrated on regular basis. Otherwise, it starts at some point to deliver incorrect results with which we can't work. How could we work with incorrect results, right? And who is doing that, aka who is calibrating at the end? At which point is the ripple effect starting? It starts with humans and it ends with humans. Okay, I hear some of you saying, Jew, where are you living? Nowadays, technology does that by itself. We also have AI even, etc. Well, I'm not sorry to destroy or at least crack your reality picture, because I am here to awake and help improving your soul. And yes, this can be tough and rough sometimes. Honestly, I for myself personally highly prefer a rough and tough truth, which passes by anyway as the time goes by, instead of incorrect information, manipulation, and lies even. As I said before, we can't work with incorrect information and manipulative lies, etc. We just keep being stuck with impossibilities, because it's impossible to create a proper and solid foundation on a wobbly ground. We don't need to be an architect to know, or at least to imagine, that in fact sooner or later, metaphorically speaking in case of this translation, but also literally speaking, the building or whatever you, aka the architect, has created on that wobbly ground will collapse. And this literally dangerous, life-threatening outcome we don't want to even imagine. Well, truth is, when we stay within the building examples, we unfortunately witness those kinds of catastrophic events regularly on this planet. Yes, also an architect needs proper information and solid knowledge about the condition, texture, quality, and nature of the ground and surroundings. Of course, other materials too as well, to calibrate and create something safe. Otherwise, an architect would provoke destiny negatively, which can end with multiple deaths of innocent souls, what we regularly witness as well. Also here, what happens is that humans often don't learn from their mistakes or experiences. They often repeat those cycles, which is why we witness those unfortunate events on regular basis. And because of resistance, the in the moment giving truth passes by as the time goes by. So the truth is no more the truth, but just a, let's say, never mind moment somewhere in time. When you have listened to my channel announcements, you know what I'm talking about. You know about the time and truth thing. But we can work with facts and correct information, even if they seem complexly tough and rough at first sight. We are in fact growing as well as expanding our awareness with those complexities. And so we are then able to create spectacular beauty on safe foundations. So with that, we simultaneously and automatically create trust and happiness for the highest good of all. Hand on your heart. That's a more fun, colorful, and satisfiable sensation to have, right? Okay then, let's go like this. We have an agreement up to a specific point. And this is that we have somehow a technology, yes. But here comes the but, aka the actually incorrect part of that story. Before I dive further into the story, I want to very shortly pick up on why I added somehow when saying technology, and want to direct your attention, just if you are interested, of course, a bit to my second channel announcement, in which I have dived into this tech topic and explained my point of this tech story, or how I sarcastically sometimes call it last hot shit. Well, when you perhaps are going to visit this video, then you'll know why. Okay, you will know why. Okay, back to the topic. Why and where is the topic, you may be asked? Simple. Even if we have technology, who is creating, running, and controlling this technology? At least on this planet we commonly call Earth. A human being. Without a being, when we look at the ship scenario example, without a captain or an engineer who are holding the knowledge, there would be no controlling, and the technology would just not run, right? Well, there would be no technology and no AI at all even. It's that simple. So it's an urgent call by spirit that we need to keep in mind that we are reincarnated here on this realm as human beings to together create great things on the foundation of love. This is nowadays especially important as AI is going to try to soak all souls out by, for example, manipulating their synapses in order to transform them into just functional robots, which do not have any sense for justice, authenticity, balance, beauty, and love at all. Just because some suspicious forces are trying to make us believe that we are incomplete, incompetent, faulty even, and are in urgent need for AI technology to complete us, aka to fix our faultiness with, what is it? Again, human-generated technology, which sources we all do not know really. By the way, we do not know. Keep that in mind. So they hardly and somehow successfully separate humanity in high speed from one another by implanting hate. And attention please, incorrect results and information. And this is going to be worse. What we all can see nowadays, and at some point cannot be reverted. They want us to give up on ourselves and our free mind, hearts and souls, our divinity. Do you really want to give up on yourself? I don't think so, and I don't want to believe it. This is why practitioners are trying to awake humanity as long as it is possible. Because even this internet technology, which is being sold to humanity as a worldwide connection tool, we ridiculously should worship as a gift even, is going to disappear. Suspicious forces are using this worldwide thing to just collect information about the population. Yes, practitioners will disappear at some point, and all their love-based divinity teachings as well. So you won't be able to reach out to any of them. We need to search for knowledge, not from the popular pop culture, superficial ones, but from the ancient sources. Because when this time finally arrives, you will urgently need that ancient knowledge and wisdom to just survive. Well, we already can witness that in our regular life. It has started a long time ago, only that it is no more hidden. They don't hide everything anymore, so that the whole population should get used to it in order to make us fearful. To let us take a closer look at the AI technology, so that we ourselves say yes to something we in fact don't know, so that they have a foundation of controlled people who are blindly following them. And so they don't need that pressure for the minority. Why? Because the majority will support those forces too. And this controlling mechanism, arranged by humans, always by humans, is going to control us. It is going to let us also disappear as divine human souls. Honestly, I don't believe, especially for those who are ready and awake, or at least ready to be awakened and seeking knowledge. For those of you, I strongly believe that you definitely do not want to wander around as a soulless creature, who even is no more able to just have fun, or for example, sense any warm sand beneath your feet. I know that this is just a tiny example, but the ability to feel, to have sensations, is what makes us divine and unique. And they steadily are stealing that from us. And this is why we have fights and wars without having any sense of empathy at all. Well, let's take an ordinary ship as a materialistic example, mirroring our inner divine compass, so to say. Why? Because with one word, it's all about calibration itself. Why? Because a human created it, so it needs to be calibrated. Even a ship must calibrate itself, aka its compass, regularly. It's a must be. There's no other way. Otherwise, there is a high risk and great danger to get lost. To get lost in the seas. So they generally do their calibration, aka their 360, in the actual harbor they are in the moment, right before their next journey. So yes, they turn around within the harbor to calibrate their compass. You actually can witness that all around the world live, or even in some YouTube channels streaming that. But as we come to the end of this translation, I want to give you a spiritual, earthly, and fictional pop culture example coming from Marvel. Let's start with Thor, who at some point is in need of calibration. And why is he in need of calibration? He is in need because he was disconnected to his source. Why he was disconnected to his source? Because his parents did not tell him the truth and full story of his source. This was also an incorrect information or a lack of information which made him suffer. Why was it suffering for Thor? Because he couldn't reach out to his hammer anymore. Why? Because of disconnection. This suffering also came from him thinking that his power lies in Mjolnir, aka his hammer, aka Jonathan. The ones who know. But in fact, his powers lie within himself. He just needed to find it. So he needed a tough calibration to be worthy again. Then we have Spidey, and I mean the Spidey played by Tobey Maguire. He at some point lost his ability to spin his webs and so his ability to fly because he lost his purpose, and with that disconnected himself because he lost his uncle. And because of regret, there grew hate and sensations of a revengeful spirit in his soul. So he needed also a tough, let's say, recalibration by searching for his great powers. And when we talk about tough and rough truth, we have also Hawkeye, who was calibrated by his friend Natasha, aka Black Widow, by a tough punch right in the face. Well, he wanted it that way. Otherwise, without Nat, maybe he wouldn't be Hawkeye anymore or got lost somewhere. This shows simultaneously, attention please, how important the environment and trust are. Furthermore, when we stay with very prominent topics, here I have an example created by Tim Burton. It is a series called Wednesday. In the second season, she loses her abilities because she unnecessarily violated her spiritual gifts. Even Dumbledore from the Harry Potter movies calibrated the Great Hall after calibrating the points for the houses by saying, quote, "Assuming that my calculations are correct, I believe that a change in decoration is in order." Yes, of course, also our beloved wild animals and their habitats need calibration. Let's stay with whales and bats as exemplary symbols of the above and below. Shortly explained, they are calibrating naturally by emitting their own voices and sounds in order to create echoes, which then bounce back as frequencies, gifting them with orientation within the magnetic fields of the Earth. If they couldn't do that, they would also get lost in their very own wide and vast darkness, which would be fatal, because this would be their own death sentence. There are many examples out there, but this would be too much. But I'm sure you already have connected the dots, haven't you, my peeps? Long term short. And to come to an end here, meaning at least we need to be, yes, just and honestly aware that we, without exception, all need calibration from time to time to stay awake, or at least to re-awake again. And this is what the Libra energy actually does, calibrating our inner divine compass by non-stop scaling and searching for equilibrium, for the highest good of all. And highest good of all means nothing other than togetherness. We need to stay connected on our divine soul's level, because this is the unique part of us nobody can separate. In this sense, love to meet your soul within the divine higher realms of love. See ya, my peeps. Love you lots.